Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I'm Michelle, making fantasies come true, one story at a time. And today we are going to be doing a religious day where I, Michelle, am going to be learning, well, not learning, but strengthening my relationship with God, Jesus, and Mary through reading the Bibles, praying the rosary, doing the total consecration to the Immaculate, reading books. Got all this fun stuff planned for today. It is currently almost 1 o'clock. I couldn't read the clock for a little bit, but it's almost 1 o'clock. I am getting ready to really start the day. So actually, I did start the day previously. I got up at 6 o'clock this morning, but I had a little fun get-together, learning session with one of my friends and a ministry. Is it a ministry around here? I think it is a ministry. But a ministry around here known as the Unbound Retreat. Well, Unbound. It's actually based off of, it's the central concept of it comes from a book, and there's several different places you can strengthen that learning with it. But I went to that. It was really nice. It was actually week 1 of, I think, 6 or 7. So the next 6 or 7 weeks, I'm going to be going to this Unbound retreat with my friend. My friend's actually leading it. I'm going there with my friend, and I'm just learning about how to strengthen my relationship with God through how the Unbound system works. I'm pretty sure the Unbound system, this sounds weird to say system, but the Unbound method, I don't know what it's called actually. I'm going to call it the method, but there's 5 keys to it. So we're first of all, next week we're going to be breaking down what each of the keys are and then how to implement it into daily prayer with usually with Unbound, it's more like a group of people praying with someone for something I would say kind of in a way kind of like counseling, but not counseling. Kind of scratching the surface of what's wrong. Say someone's I don't know, feeling like they're struggling with the sense of unworthiness. And then slowly, seeing how, asking more questions, but not fully, diving deep into what's wrong. Or at least that's how I take it. But as you work through the 5 keys, then it slowly keeps growing and showing how you expand farther. I don't really know how to say this exactly. But this week we were learning about the power of the gospel. And I think I've told you guys this on the channel, when I'm doing the Bible in a year, I truly, there are moments where we are reading, I'm listening to Father Mike and I'm reading along. I'm this hits me because of something I learned that day. And I was just I know God works in mysterious ways, but I swear, he keeps finding me at random spots being you're on the right track. I'm just going to remind you kind of thing. So it was really interesting. And I also made this connection. So as humans, we are broken. We're not perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect person. The only person who could come out as perfect is Mary or Jesus. Because even the saints are flawed. But it reminds me of this cycle that everyone goes through. You have really high highs, kind of start going down, then you go low. And for me, sometimes that means I don't pray the rosary or do my religious stuff. And then eventually I come out of it and I get back into it. And I'm just everyone does that. And it's, I was reminded of the, pretty much how the section of the Bible that I'm in currently with Solomon 1. Well, First Solomon. No, not Solomon. First Samuel, sorry. But we're learning about King Saul and just this cycle that he went through. And how David's kind of the next prophet, but the next good thing that's going to come to the Israelites. And then there's going to be another, then David's going to have his downfall, but then I think it's Solomon comes next into his great achievement, and then his downfall. and it's just going to keep repeating and repeating until Jesus comes, and then it's like the salvation of the world kind of thing. But also, like, just reminding us, like, there's ebbs and flows, you know. And something that I took a note of is there's like 3 essence of the Bible. I mean, of the gospel. First, the gospel is a gift. Remember that. The gospel is a gift. And gifts are meant to be cherished. And sometimes, and this doesn't reflect on the gospel, but sometimes gifts are also burdens. And they might start off as burdens, but as you get into it more, they become blessings. And I guess that also applies to the Bible. Like with the Bible in a year, doing this, I'm on day 112, I believe. And at first it was a burden, then it got really good and I loved it, then I fell off of it, and now I'm back into the flow of just feeling it, you know? Then we're supposed to proclaim the word, sorry. And I feel like that's what I try to do on this channel, is proclaim the word of the gospel and how I reflected on it. And then also a response. And I guess for me, the proclaim and also the response go hand in hand. But it's all really, really interesting. I love how everything comes together in the Catholic Church. And I'm sure if you believe in other faiths, I'm sure you guys can relate to that too. But for me, that's just how I related to it. And another thing is that the gospel offers hope. Yeah. I don't know. Found that all really interesting. I do plan on going to the retreat again next week. I might ask my friend for a book, like one of the books. So that would be interesting. I have to pay her $20, which won't be a problem. And then I was going to also eat out with my friend tomorrow. Well, that day too. But I'm now going to get started with this I would probably say today's going to be divided up into 3. My morning meeting retreat thing, learning session with those people at the Unbound. Then the second one, which is basically my evening routine, but I'm bumping it up to now, just because this evening, I don't know what the game plan is. I do plan on going to church, but I feel like I've been rushing my evening prayer. So now I'm pushing it forward so that I'm not rushing it and feeling bad after it, causing me to miss Mass, if that makes sense. So that's the game plan. But to start off this afternoon time, I'm going to start with day 13 of the total consecration to the Immaculate. I'm starting week 2, which I did not realize I'm starting week 2. But day 13 is titled Your Total Mother in the Order of Grace. And I watch Gabby, I watch a YouTube channel called Gabby's Second Channel. He has a total consecration to the Immaculate video section. And today, for day 13, the title of the video is Discernment of Spirits. So that'll be interesting. But I will come back after this and tell you what I learned, tell you what I think, and we'll get on with the rest of the day. Well, then continue on. But I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Okay, so I just got done with day 13. What we talked about today was basically, deciphering the difference between God's voice and the enemy's voice, which basically, God is a comforting, consoling voice that also asks us to sacrifice in small ways. And it's important to note, whenever God speaks, he works within us. Enemy's voice, it's filled with doubting, discouragement, not feeling good enough. Basically those dark feelings, not those dark feelings, but like those voices that make you feel discouraged. And whenever it comes to, like, obviously people, especially say with me, like, I'm someone who suffers with depression, and it's important to know the difference between depression and feeling that kind of desolation, and desolation when it comes to prayer life and like the enemy's voice. But they are somewhat similar. And it's also important to note, when it comes to those desolation times, those really, really low moments where you're feeling just feeling alone. I was going to keep using that word, but when you're feeling alone, it's important to never make a change during that time, and to always double down in prayer in those times of need, because in those times of need, Mary wants to help you. The angels want to help you. The saints want to help you. So just ask for their help. And as I feel like you guys know me pretty well, but in those times of desolation and just sadness, praying the rosary is super important, because you're saying, in trying to do a full rosary, because it's important to try to do the full rosary in those times, because you are saying 50 Hail Marys. And if you do the beginning 3 beads, that's 53 Hail Marys. And you're really asking praying for Mary's help. And yeah, I don't know, Mary is so important. I love her, and she keeps reminding me of small things. So yeah. Day 13 went really well. Now I am going to get into praying my rosary. I think I'm going to do the sorrowful mysteries today, or at least for this time, just because yesterday I was supposed to do the sorrowful mysteries, but I didn't do it. I didn't do the full rosary. I only did a third of it. Well, 3/5 of it. I only made it to the crowning of the thorns, and even then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And in that time I should have been like, hey, I need to keep praying. And I can blame it on my altar being like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this prayer time anymore. Which happens, unfortunately, a couple times throughout the week. But part of me wonders if that's the enemy speaking, but I'm like, no, that's not the enemy. That's just me and my, I don't want to say trauma with religion, but kind of trauma with religion, and being so stuck in my ways in the past that I don't want to move forward kind of things. But anyway, so I'm going to get into the sorrowful mysteries. I think I know what I'm going to pray for. I don't know. It's just going to depend. Yeah, I'm going to pray for that, and I will be back later. Okay? Bye. Hey guys, it's after my rosary, after I wrote down in my journal. Gosh. I hope you guys can tell the difference in my vibe right now. I got to the first mystery of the sorrowful mysteries, which is the agony in the garden, and I was just hit with this sensation. Well, it's not even sensation, this wave of blah. And part of me was like, I shouldn't even continue praying this rosary because it's not quality content, but I'm like, it doesn't need to be quality. It just needs to be said. And I think it has a lot to do with this, I'm sure it's 2 o'clock right now. It's almost 2 o'clock. And I get this 2 o'clock, 1 to 2 to 3, 1 to 3 time frame. I just hit with this blah. Don't want to do anything. Don't want to be around. Not be around anything like that. It's just blah. So I am taking a break from my religious stuff right now, because I know if I continue pushing it, I will end up not wanting to go to church tonight. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want to go to church. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch what I call trash content. It's really not trash stuff. It's just stuff that, I can shut my brain off and not learn, pretty much. It's just stuff that I'm not, this is stuff I'm not retaining and keeping in memory forever. This is just stuff that kind of comes in one ear, maybe it sticks around and goes out the other, and I don't care. But that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. I have an hour-long video pulled up, so I'll do that. I also need to go make a drink, so that'll happen. And if I feel like I can do something halfway through the video, I might read one of my books back there that I'm wanting to read. It'll be either A Light in the Shadow or Breathe Deeply about the joyful mysteries. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so I'll be back. Bye. Hey guys, so I did like 30 minutes of watching my trash content, and then I decided to get back into doing something religious. So I took out my 2 books that I want to read, which is Breathe Deeply. This one's about the joyful mysteries. But I was like, I don't want to read that, so I decided to read A Light in the Shadow. This one is a daughter's reflection and autobiography, like a memoir for her dad who passed away from cancer. And it's really nice. Like, it does, like, I can almost feel the author's pain, just having to deal with, like, you know, her dad's dying of cancer, it's a slow death, and how, like, I'm not sure if it was, like, weeks or days of him basically being, like, kind of in and out of, like, the human world and heaven. And you guys can believe this or not, like, people in near-death experiences, even children, have, like, this connection to heaven. Okay, really, I think it's more like young kids have connections to heaven, like, they'll see angels and stuff. As you get older, that kind of goes away. But as you die, you're getting closer to heaven. And sometimes even hell. I don't like to think about that, but, like, they'll have connections. And this dad was, like, going around, like, being present with his family, who was all around him, but also being present in heaven, getting to talk to God, getting to stuff like that. Yeah, and there was a moment where the dad died. He's not dead. Well, he's not dead quite yet, but he's getting close. That sounds weird to say, but he's not dead yet. But his sister-in-law passed away, and he told his family to pray for her. And I'm like, that just, like, I don't know how to say that. It just makes sense. Like, he knew she was coming, and yeah, it's all nice. I don't know what else I was gonna say, but I think for the rest of my time until lunchtime, I'm gonna try to finish this book. I'm on chapter 23, and I think there's an epilogue, and there's 31 chapters. I think I'm just gonna keep reading until I can finish it. Then I'll go down and eat and watch a Bible in the Air, watch another video by Gabrielle Castillo, which is one about Saint Therese and how all the saints look up to her. I'm not entirely sure which Saint Therese it is, because there's so many Saint Thereses or Saint Teresas, so I'm not sure. But I think that'll also kind of get me started into possibly looking into doing a saint picture book. I've been wanting to do that. I know Marianne, one of my altars, has been wanting to do that. And if it's Saint Therese the Little Flower, that's one that's kind of been, like, piquing our interest, kind of been, like, nagging at the back of our head, so we might do that. That might be an after Mass thing, but I'm not sure. It depends on timing and stuff. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I will see you guys after I get done reading and before lunch. I mean, supper. Before supper. So I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, it is 4:15 right now. I got done reading A Light in the Shadows. I think I'm gonna reread chapter 30 to the end. But I liked it. You know, it's not a little sad, it is entirely sad. But I didn't, like, as much as I didn't know who this man was, I felt like I did, which is what every story, like, for me, whenever, like, I know I read a good book when I relate to the character in this play, or in this perspective, a person, I relate to them. I understand who they are, and it means it's a good book. It means it moved me. And I'm sure the author didn't intend that. She probably meant for it to move her family, and I think that's why it's off sale anymore. But it's still important to know, like, that as much as some people say, like, God's not real, Jesus isn't real, and stuff like that, questioning and doubting their faith, this man truly loved God. he was truly connected with God. And I can only hope with my goal to becoming a sister, or if I don't become a religious sister, I can be just as like knowledgeable about God, but having such a close relationship with God and to Mary and Jesus. That's kind of all the essential I want, is like to be close to them, to be able to, I guess, inspire, but also possibly convert people to the Catholic faith, to convert them into seeing God as our true Father, to see him as the Father everyone deserves, to have a caring, compassionate, loving Father who, yes, may be kind of strict on us with like the rules of how to be Catholic and like, well, how to be Christian, but those rules aren't, the commandments and stuff aren't really that hard to abide by, I feel like. That's personally for me, because I guess I was always destined to be a sister, but like, I don't know, like to love everyone as you love yourself, like, I don't know, like that's kind of my like ideal goal, is to love everyone as I love myself. Granted, I do struggle with loving myself, and that's kind of why Jesus told me that I need to forgive my younger self for my past and for the stress and pressure I put on that younger Michelle. And it's, I don't know, it's so cool to see how, I don't know, to see how someone's life, who was painful, and he could have been trying to do other things, how he could have done that, but yet he still chose to be faithful to God. And he ended up like through his experience while he was dying, he was able to inspire someone to convert to the Catholic faith. And maybe one day someone will do that in like, not in memory of me, but like do that because I inspired them to love God, to love Jesus, to love Mary and stuff. And I still feel like I'm still in the early stages of this whole discovering my faith, but yet I still feel so certain about it, and I feel so spoken to, and I can't help but hope that people will find this video, see people who have like depression, anxiety, multiple personalities, whatever people have, like with this channel. I hope people with those kind of disorders, I was going to say diseases, but those disorders, like you may not know where they come from, or you do know where they come from. It's not anybody's place to judge you and be like, oh, that's not right or anything. Like, you're supposed to just love. And that is what this man did, was truly love his family. He cared for him. And like, if you guys have prayers out there that you want answered, leave them down in the comments below and I will pray for you. And I was talking to the people at the Unbound learning teaching thing today, that like they've been seeing, or they want to, like they've been seeing how their family members, as they grew more strong in their faith, that their children or their family members got back into the faith. And I've been seeing that with my sister. Like, yes, she is Catholic. We are both born and raised Catholic, but she's starting to do more things with her family. And, I could think that has something to do with me, but I think God's just, like, me and my sister are both at that stage where, like, we want growth. We know that, like, life is uncertain, like, you could be here one day and not the other, like, with our mom. And, we're slowly, like, we could also be like, well, we could be like Dad and live till 70-something, and then slowly have this big catastrophe happen and be in pain all of our life. But it doesn't matter, because we still want to be with God. We still want to be there. and we want to start going back to church, and that's why me and my sister are doing it. We don't talk much about this, but I don't know. It also brings me hope that I can, like with my rosaries and asking Mary for help for all my cousins and my family members, that it's possible for all of us to get to heaven. So I don't know. Anyways, I am going to go down to supper. I keep calling it lunch. It's supper. When I get back, I will do day 112 of the Bible in a year, and then we'll get into watching videos or heading into church. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so I just got back from eating, super quick meal. I'm now going to get into day 112 of Bible in a Year. This one, for the title of the video, it's called True Friendship. We are reading from 1 Samuel chapter 20, which in my Bible, which is, let me pick it up. This one, which is the Catholic Children's Bible. It is, I don't remember which edition, which version of it is. But for this one, the title of the section is called Jonathan Helps David. Jonathan Helps David. And basically when it's talking about true friendship, basically it is the soul relationship that, well, not soul only, but the soul, mind, body, and soul connection that David has with Jonathan. So David is going to be the future king of Israel. Right now it's King Saul, and from what I remember of the Bible, Saul is trying to kill David because David is more humble, but everyone loves him. And King Saul's Achilles heel, pretty much, as Father Mike puts it, is his vanity. He cares more about what other people think of him than what God thinks of him. And if you guys didn't know, David is an ancestor of Jesus, so Jesus is son of a descendant of David, and that's kind of relationship. I can't think of the words right now, but Jonathan is David's I don't know how else to put it, but their soul brothers. They have this friendship that's titled as True Friendship, which yesterday we talked about how their friendship is a virtuous friendship, which means they're bound together by the same goal. It's basically you're running in a race, everyone's running in a race of life. And with Jonathan and David, they just happen to be they happen to run into each other, but they're also running in the same race, if that makes sense. So they looked at each other and were connected. But it's important to note that Jonathan is Saul's son, and Saul's trying to kill David, so a lot of connections going to happen. We're reading Samuel chapter 20, 1 Samuel chapter 20, which in this is just called Jonathan Helps David. And we're also reading Psalm 142, which is a prayer for help. Don't know what I'm getting into. I feel like I've told you guys this, as much as I was born and raised Catholic, my family never, or at least from what I remember, we never read the Bible together. We never really did evening prayer time. It was just we did the bare minimum, which was go to Mass on Saturdays, and that was it. And if we didn't go on Saturdays, we had to go on Sundays. So it was bare minimum requirement. So that's kind of what our relationship was like back then. Trying to get better into it, obviously, if I'm trying to become a sister. But yeah, I say let's just get into it. I'll see you guys in 20-30 minutes. So be back. Bye. Hey guys, so I just got done with the Bible in a Year. True friendship. So David and Jonathan's relationship is friendship. And Father Mike discussed in his reflection about C.S. Lewis and his book about four loves. But there are four different types of love. There's Sergei, which is affection, eros, which is desire, agape, I don't know, unconditional, selfish, and sacrificial love, which is basically God's love for us, and then philia. Philia is friendship, and the pursuit of friendship, and it like endures. And that is the relationship that David and Jonathan have. They have such a true friendship that like they would go to the ends of the earth together. And he was talking about how like whenever people get married, they shouldn't be wanting love, like marrying someone out of like eros love, like this deep desire to be near them, because eros love, well, they should, but like eros love is fickle. It's a give and take to it. And it's also cheap. Everyone has moments where they feel a desire to be desire to be loved by someone and stuff like that. But when it comes to philia, it's that friendship, that like instant connection, like you've known each other for years. And that's what people should look for in marriages and stuff. Like that like instant connection, like you've been gone for a while, but you come back and you instantly know everything like you just feel connection. Yeah, which is, I love the connection of like, they are so moved, like they love each other, like not in the sense of like wanting to be romantic, but they have such a love that they're true friends. And as much as I have my ladies who I saw all the time at Soul Provider, which was a little local Catholic shop, I would say I almost have a philia love with them. I definitely have, I guess I would almost have a philia love. I don't know, I feel like I go between the Sergei, eros, and philia love with them, because like I truly have, like I look up to them. That's like, I would almost say like my affection, like I want, like I look up to them, and then like I guess desire to be loved by them, but also desire to just be close to them. In friendship, they are my friends. They are truly my friends. And I don't know what I'll do whenever I either go to become a sister or they were to pass away. I don't know. I would still obviously live, but like they've moved me so much. Yeah, but I thought it was really beautiful. Yeah. And I don't know what else I was going to say. But yeah, that was a great session of Bible in a Year. I'm now going to go back to watching some videos. I'm watching a lot of videos right now by Mike I don't know. Mike, he's a Catholic, Christian YouTuber who does sometimes rap videos too. He writes music. I might leave a link down in the description. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to watch him for probably until Mass. I think that'll what I'll do. I'll go to Mass at 6 o'clock and I'll do my usual before church routine and stuff. But yeah, today's been a really good day. I'll try to come back on before I go to bed today, so after Mass. But otherwise, it's been a really good day. And also after Mass, I think I'll finish reading this book. Like I said, I've only got like 3 chapters left, so I'll finish that up and maybe wrap today's video. I don't know. It depends on how long these clips are. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, so I don't remember how I ended the last clip, and I'm too lazy to go look back at how I ended it and rewatch it. So I just want to wrap up today's video and talk about what happened. So yesterday I went to Mass. It was absolutely lovely. It's hard to say lovely, but just because it is Mass, but I find it lovely. The messaging was clear. It was about Corpus, the day it was represented, like after the 40 days of Easter. Is it 40 days of Easter? Yeah, I think it's 40 days of Easter, 40 days or 50 days. One of the two, then 50 or 40 days of the Ascension, then the Ascension, then the, but anyways, today was the Corpus Christi, which was, has to deal with, like, the body of Christ, the blood of Christ. And now, typically, in my church on Saturdays, we don't typically get blood. Well, not blood, but, you know, the wine that goes with the blood of Christ. But we did get that, which was actually really nice. Not nice, like, that makes it sound like I'm almost an alcoholic, but it was interesting. I liked it. It was funny. So I sit with my dad, and, I got the blood of Christ, and I was behind my cousins, but my dad, like, where we sit, we're very close to the front, and I just got the blood of Christ. Then I was going to the pew, and Dad was like, wait a minute, where'd she go? Like, he just stood there. He didn't say anything, but you could tell, like, he was like, where is she? I thought she was in front of me. He must have not have been paying attention, because I just had to go get the blood of Christ. But he was like, you're not supposed to have wine. But I was like, you're just ridiculous. And I'm also like, it was just a sip. Not a sip is going to make a difference. And then I talked to one of the ladies who sits behind me. She used to be a sister or a nun. Talked to her a little bit about that. She said she didn't have much information, but I also didn't ask a lot of questions. But I think I just wanted to say, talk to her and see if she is still a nun. It was nice. But in the homily, Father talked about, so Father had just went back to his home country of India, and he went to say a mass at his home parish. And at his home parish, they had a display up about Carlo Acutis and the Eucharistic miracles that happened. And if you don't know Saint Carlo Acutis, he became a saint. He's known as the Millennial Saint. He used the internet to basically share the world, like, share the different miracles of the Eucharist. Yeah, I don't know. It's really impactful. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly, but I think he was not Catholic. Like, was he baptized Catholic? I don't remember, but his mom wasn't really Catholic, like, too into her faith. But while Carlos was alive, he died whenever he died of leukemia, I think. I think that was right. But so his mom then got back into her faith. He had several friends, I think, that ended up converting to the Catholic faith because of him. And he was canonized, and then he was done all the things to get to be a saint. And I did write kind of like a picture book about him. I want to redo it since my whole new discovery system of my altars and stuff. Yeah, I'll do that. I still want to do more research and stuff on him, just so I'm more clear on what I'm talking about and stuff, and getting ideas of, like, what I exactly want the picture books to be and stuff. Again, I don't plan, like, if I do write these picture books, it'll eventually be something I get published by a traditional publishing house, because I don't have the money. Also, I want to become a sister to do these picture books, so I have money and support, but also I'm wanting to be a sister who does a publishing house, so I don't know. Anywho, I also, like, last night before Mass and then after Mass, I decided to reread chapters 30 through the epilogue of this book, so 30 to the end. And I gotta say, I just love this book. I will do a review on this book. I'll probably record it on my computer rather than on my phone. But I love this book. I also love, like, how I felt like I knew who this father was. His name was Ray, or Raymond. And I'm pretty sure at the end, was it at the end? I remember somewhere. Oh, it was one of his, like, after his death, like, a cousin or, like, some person in the book was basically like, you know, the show Everyone Loves Raymond. They made the connection like everyone does love Raymond. And they reflected it back on the dad, Ray. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think yesterday was relatively a good day. I did my daily consecration to the Immaculate. I read the Bible. I said two rosaries, and then I also prayed for all the people on my churches or parishes prayer list. What I do for that is, so I'll say the introductional prayers. It's basically me praying a rosary without saying a rosary. It's basically I say the Our Father, then with each bead I'm like praying for, like I pray for who's ever on the list. Like say, my dad's not on the list, but I put him on there. So I'm like, for my dad, and say a Hail Mary. And then after 10, I say an Our Father, and so on and so forth. Apparently, if I do my counting correctly, like sometimes I feel like I miss beads and sometimes, but I'm pretty sure there's 30 people on our prayer list, and I'm like, that's not terrible. Well, it is terrible, but I feel bad. But I think it has a lot to deal with the fact that I'm from a small little parish, and a lot of them are old people. Well, old people sounds rude, but you know, yeah. Anywho, yesterday was a very successful day. I really enjoyed it. Today I have to do some little miscellaneous things like record videos, upload videos. And I also have to do some journaling, which I also not necessarily wrote a review about this book, but wrote a kind of like a script almost, for kind of what I want to talk about whenever I do my review for this book. Yeah, but I don't know. Yesterday was a good day. I have a few things to do today. Yeah, so I'm not going to continue on today's video even longer until this clip ends. But yeah, yesterday was a good day. And you know, it definitely strengthened my faith, with my Unbound retreat meeting teaching thing that I did. But it was lovely. I absolutely loved it. And you know, if you guys want to, so with my Unbound, teaching learning sessions, I think it's for the next like 4 to 5 weeks, maybe not including last week. My friend's gonna keep doing these teaching lessons, and I would love to go to them. So I think I'll have more of these like religious videos going on like Saturdays instead of doing reading vlogs. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be reading. But maybe I should take like say a Wednesday or maybe Tuesdays, like every other Tuesday to do a reading vlog. Because typically I have therapy on Tuesdays and I don't want to write on Tuesdays just so that I'm not like switching from like writing brain to emotional stuff, you know, so I might do that. But other than that, this day has gone good. I have really been enjoying it. Well, yesterday went really well, and today has too. But yeah, that's kind of all I gotta say for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will be doing a review over A Light in the Shadows. That will hopefully post on the 16th or on the 14th on Sunday. So either Sunday or Thursday on Tuesday. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, I had a really good day today. All yesterday too. And I hope you guys enjoyed these Catholic videos. Again, if you're not interested in watching Catholic videos, or videos that have to deal more with like religious aspects, I would highly suggest unsubscribing to this channel. I talk about religious stuff here. I have a 5-year goal to become a religious sister. And if you're not interested, and I don't want you guys to not be feeling like, I don't want you guys to, I guess, like, have harsh criticism on me. Like, this is just my life. I'm going to live it how I want to. And it's your right to not subscribe. So anyways, yeah. That's all I gotta say today, and remember to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.